King David will be king of Israel again, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kwadash. There's a video I came across put up by Sakari a couple of days ago, August 28th to be exact. And the title of the video is Christian meets Israelites for street debate. And this is a 56 minute 50-second video, and I'm at the 8-minute 50-second point of the video. And I'm just going to let you hear it, and then you'll understand why I gave the particular title about King David being king. Because King David will sit on the throne again under Yahushua. So he will be the physical king of Israel. And it tells you that he's going to be sitting, if you go to, what is that, Matthew, I believe that's 27 verse 19, if I'm not mistaken. I'll go to it, I guess, in a little while, but it speaks about Peter coming to the Lord and saying, we have forsake all, what shall we receive, for the sacrifice. I'm merely paraphrasing. And it says, ye 12 shall sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Now the head throne will be Peter. So Peter is going to sit on the head throne. David is also going to sit on the head throne. So how does that work? Also, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you shall see them in the kingdom of heaven. So who's Abraham, who's Isaac, and who's Jacob? And Jacob will have to be David and Peter. So will David change up and one day he's Peter, the next day he's Jacob, or the next day he's this individual? No. You will know the king on the earth will be David. But he came back many a times in different forms. He came as Peter. He came as Isaac, the son of Abraham. Anyway, let me let you listen. And in the kingdom, we'll find out who's who, how many times you've been here and who you were in the past life. It says, the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 14, the Spirit, I believe that's the 32nd verse. You can go and read it. It said the Spirit to the prophets are subject to the prophets. So if you are a prophet now of the Lord, a true prophet of the Lord, you were a prophet in the past. Anyway, let's go ahead and listen. And I'm going to say this, I'll say this maybe a couple of times. Christians do not understand the Bible, the word of the Most High, because the Most High is not dealing with them. I don't give a damn if your vocab, Dr. James White, William Bell, any of them. They are clueless when it comes to the scriptures. And one reason why I say that they're completely clueless is because they don't understand and they refuse to accept reincarnation. So this guy's going to read a passage out of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. And Ezekiel 37 is one of my favorite chapters because it goes into the grand awakening of Israel in the valley, the bones coming together. And that's us that have woken up, and we're waking other people up, or the Spirit of the Most High is waking them up, but he's using us as vessels to speak his word. So when the Most High speaks, he speaks through us. Anyway, let me let you listen. Let me shut the hell up and let you listen, then I'll come back and explain this. Because Sakari's clearly going off. Maybe the guy misspoke, but I'm going to let you listen.
Yeah. Neither shall they defile, this is 23, okay? Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols.
He's reading out of Ezekiel 37, verse 23.
Nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of their dwelling places where they have sinned.
Right, and that's talking about now. That's talking about all the places that we've been scattered. Now, if you go back, if you watch this from the beginning, the speaker, the Israelite individual that's speaking, he goes into Ezekiel 37, verse 16, 17, where it tells you about, where it speaks about taking, Ezekiel should take one stick, and that word in the Hebrew translates into plank, and put upon it Judah and his companion, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and take another stick, the stick of, put Joseph and his companion, which Joseph is interchangeable. The tribe of Joseph, if you will, is interchangeable with the tribe of Ephraim, because it was Jeroboam that was set up by prophecy to take the majority of the kingdom, which was the northern kingdom. So Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, the dry bones in the valley is talking about now. When you come down to he's in the 23rd, 24th verse, he reads about King David and about coming back into the kingdom. Let me come back to that. 8. Where'd I leave off? 8. Let me go back to 8. 808.
The sticks they are gone, thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes.
Right. He just read, I believe it was the 16th verse, that the stick shall be in thy hand, or the plank shall be in thy hand. And you see me a lot of the times I'm speaking, and I have my hand on the plank, on the sign. There's a whole controversy about the 12 tribe sign, but there needs to be a 12 tribe sign, because people have to identify who the Israelites are. You get a lot of people that'll look right down at the sign. And that didn't take place during the time of Ezekiel's ministry. That's taking place now.
And say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be.
Right. Behold, I will take the children of Israel, meaning Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Gad, Manasseh, Reuben, Asher, and so Naphtali, and so forth. That's talking about now. If you watch this video, when they pan down, you'll even see the 12 tribe sign right on the I guess the right of your screen, or the left hand side of the individual speaking.
Be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them unto their own land.
So what is that talking about? That's talking about us being gathered together, starting with the elect, and coming back to our land and taking over the whole planet Earth. Now watch what this guy says.
If you notice, it said he's going to bring the children of Israel and then gather them there on every side. So we see that the house of Judah and the house of Joseph, they're in this one particular group, the majority of them. But you still got to go and get the rest of them from these different places. Give me this Jeremiah 15:33.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Question. Okay, let's keep going.
Yep.
All right.
The main place is America. although you're going to have Israelites, the elect scattered through the earth, the deliverance is going to be out of America, because that's where the missiles are not going to necessarily hit certain places, like England, for example. England is not, if you have the elect in England, the missiles are not going to completely destroy England. Now, England may be hit in the midst of that war, but if you have the elect in England, what you do, they're going to be beamed up. But they're not going to be delivered from destruction. They're just going to be beamed up. The ones that are going to be beamed up and delivered from destruction are the saints that are in America. Excuse me.
So it says when he brings them together,
Yeah.
neither shall they defile. This is 23, okay? Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols. Nor with their,
In other words, the scriptures say we're gonna keep the laws. We're not gonna eat pork. We're not gonna eat shrimp. We're gonna honor the Sabbath. We're gonna honor the Passovers. We're gonna do the will of the Lord, which is, if you're one of the elect, you should be out there on the highways and the byways and doing your sit downs. And this shocked the world. This whole Hebrew Israelite thing shocked the world, man, through a little website called YouTube. Because if they speak about the Hebrew Israelites on the news, everybody in America knows about the Hebrew Israelites, because there's so many camps and so many YouTube videos dealing with Israel, and there's so many camps, as I have said. Let's go on.
detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of their dwelling places where they have sinned.
Right, save them, meaning he's going to deliver them from Babylon the Great and the other parts of the world where the elect of Israel, or the saints, are gathered.
And will cleanse them, so they shall be my people, I'll be their God. Great. 24.
And the cleansing is going to be the kingdom.
David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they shall all have one shepherd.
That has yet to happen.
And they shall walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them.
That's the kingdom. That's the kingdom, because the new covenant will come into play. We're not in the new covenant. If anything, we're in between the old and the new covenant. The old covenant, pretty much you had to keep the laws on your own. You had to know the laws. You had to deal with the priests. The new covenant, we will all be priests.
Okay.
David's dead.
I'm going to show you something. That's talking about somebody from the lineage of David, because we know
He totally went off. He totally went off. Hey, the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 1 verse 10, and that ye all speak the same thing. And there's many scriptures dealing with speaking the same thing. Let me go back to that so you can listen.
Themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of their dwelling places where they have sinned.
Yeah, the saving part is going to come. They're going to be saved from the destruction of Babylon.
And will cleanse them, so they shall be my people, I'll be their God. Great.
That's the kingdom.
24. And David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they shall all have one shepherd, and they shall walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them.
Okay.
David's dead.
Yes, David is dead, but David came back over and over again, just like you came back. Like I said, Christians do not understand. That's a major stumbling block for Christians. They do not understand, neither will they accept the reincarnation thing. So now this is what this individual says from Shikari.
I'm going to show you something. That's talking about somebody from the lineage of David, because we know, according
He totally went off. He totally went off, man. What say you, Alazar, or Chief Priest Alazar? What say you, Hassad? What say you, Deacon Hakar? Because this clearly is not talking about somebody else. It's talking about David. If you go to, and I may go to it, Hosea, the 1st chapter, they shall appoint themselves one head. Hosea, the 3rd chapter, and I may read that. And this causes confusion between dealing with other Israelites that may watch this video. But a lot of these Israelites are not super deep. They just get into watching the videos. They don't stop and say, wait a minute, he said that, but GMS said something different. What's going on here? You got to understand, a lot of these Israelites that watch our videos, they watch it for entertainment purposes only. They get entertained by it. They don't take heed to the calling.
The second Samuel 7.
Okay.
Okay, you already know that, right?
I know that. Okay.
So I don't have to waste my time saying it if you already know. But when we read 1 Kings 11, and I think it's verse 22.
12.
Huh?
1 Kings 12.
Yeah, where it calls him David, Rehoboam David.
1 Kings.
You read it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got the mic.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12 and verse 16.
Uh-huh.
So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David?
So it said, what portion do we have in David, right?
Right.
Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse to your tents, O Israel. Now see to thy own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents.
So look, he said, seed into your own house, David. So he's calling Rehoboam David. Just like he called the nation of Israel, Israel. He's saying.
But that has nothing to do with Ezekiel 37. The Christian read the 23rd and 24th verse and said, wait a minute, David is dead. That has nothing. The first thing you should have said, that David is going to come back. There's a thing called reincarnation. And I hope they still teaching that reincarnation. I hope Zakari's teaching that reincarnation is biblical. I know the GOCC, they don't teach it. They said that there's no such thing as reincarnation.
David is going to reign. Why? Because it was promised to David that his seed shall reign.
Okay.
So we see an example of Rehoboam being called David when his name is not David.
Okay.
David is dead. So that answers your question right there, right?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Totally went off. He should have said the proper breakdown for Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, is David sitting on the actual physical David sitting on the throne again. That's why I mentioned Matthew's, I believe it was 27 verse 19 or 19 verse 27. Somebody can go to it. What else did I mention? I mentioned Hosea 1 and also Hosea the 3rd chapter. And there's more precepts on David. Oh, it speaks about the having the keys. The keys were given to David. The keys of the heaven were given also to Peter, which Peter was David in a previous life.
So, how does this? I'm going to give y'all this. Okay, let's say it. How does this pertain to the Gentiles? Because
You're talking about none. There's two different definitions of Gentiles.
okay, define both.
You're talking about Israelites who put themselves in heathenistic customs,
Okay.
and then you got heathens who are non-Israelites. Those are two different Gentiles.
All right. So let's talk about my mother. Okay, my mom's white.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Oh, that's why he's so interested in talking about the Gentiles, because he wants his mother, and I'm pretty sure he's from a single family household where the Jake popped the Edomite woman, and he did a disappearing act. So all he got his diapers changed by his Edomite mother. He got fed. He got, she kissed him and held him up, and he had cousins and relatives that were Edomites. So I see in the spirit that he's looking to get his mother saved. He kind of sort of believes it, but he can't digest the thing that his mother's going into captivity if he watched the videos previously.
My mom would be the same, considered Edomite.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? Define it.
Edomite, a white woman.
Okay.
But she's dark. She looked like me, but her forefather will be white.
Okay. All right. So what's God's plan for?
Oh, so his mother she could be Irish or Italian or whatever, Eastern European, which are Jake. Hey, like this guy, the guy Jake Paul that fought this guy damn, I can't even think of his name. Tyrone Woodley. Now that guy that looked like an Edomite, Jake Paul, he could be a Jake, and his name is Jake. But he could be a Jake because he can fight. He can shoot joints, you know. Anyway, that's a whole nother video. But let's listen on.
For the is God going to restore Edom?
No. What do you mean?
That's why he went to Edom. That's why he went to Edom, because according to this Christian watching the videos, he knows about the whole Edom doctrine. The Edomite doctrine.
Right. My mom would be the same, considered Edomite.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? Define it.
Edomite, a white woman.
Okay.
But she's dark. She looked like me, but her forefather will be white.
Okay. All right. So what's God's plan for the is God going to restore Edom?
No.
That's why he said his mother's an Edomite. He's been watching the videos. He's looking for answers. He's looking to save his Edomite mother based upon what he's been saying. So he immediately went into the Edom. What about the Edomites? Very interesting. Let's listen on.
What do you mean? What do you mean restore Edom?
Why would all right? So let's start Genesis 12.
Okay.
Okay, Genesis 12. God has a plan for all nations, right? So we see that pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Now the Lord had said unto Abram, "Get thee out of thy country."
Now it was cut. I don't know what was said. It just flipped. It was cut. I don't know how much was taken out of this video.
And from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land, I will shew thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and that shall be a blessing. And
But that's just referring to Abraham, right?
So Abraham. So this is a covenant promise from God, from Yahweh to Abraham.
Okay, go ahead.
To Abraham.
Go ahead.
Okay, so he's saying, yep, that's referring to Abraham. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee. And these shall be in the families, and in thee all families of the earth shall be blessed. So so what he's saying here is Israel, or the descendants from Abraham, we would understand to be Israel. Those are the covenant people of God. Right. He's gonna make this nation great. And we see that throughout the history of the people of Israel, right? He delivers them from captivity in the Exodus. He brings them in. He takes them. And you see it through Joshua.
Right.
Whatever you put your feet on, that's going to be your land. They make it to the promised land in Canaan, and they begin to be a blessing. I think maybe 2 Kings, maybe 10. I might be off on that. Sheba.
Yeah. We understand. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, this is not just simply blacks, Asians, Hispanic.
He went off. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Isaac had 2 sons. I went through that yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever. Yesterday actually, about Jacob and Esau in Romans the 9th chapter. It tells you that the Most High did not choose Esau. So Esau is out of there. Esau is not a part of the blessing. All the families of earth shall be blessed. It's talking about all the families of Israel. It came out of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
What I'm saying is, I think this is inclusive far beyond just the majority represented within.
Why do you think that?
Why do I think that?
Yeah, why do you think that?
Because I think that's what Christ is doing in the New Testament, particularly.
You think?
I would say
if
so.
You say it would not.
There's many precepts in the Old and in the New Testament that the Lord only came for the sons of Israel, or the children of Israel. The first scripture, that basic scripture that comes to mind is Matthew 1 verse 21. That the Lord, thou shalt call his name, angel Gabriel said that thou shalt call his name Yahushai, for he shall save his people from their sins. Matthew 10, verse 5 and 6. Actually, the whole 10th chapter. It starts off in the 5th verse. It says, "Go not into the way of the Gentiles, neither into any city of the Samaritans, enter yet, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." This is basic information before leaving the earth. I had to put that in there.
No, hold on. Let's slow down. Let's slow down,
Okay.
right? You said you think that's what Christ is doing in the New Testament,
so
but you made that statement predicated upon Genesis 12, right?
Okay.
So before we jump off Genesis 12, and before we go to the New Covenant,
Great.
how are you coming to that conclusion predicated upon what you just read in Genesis 12?
I'm coming to that conclusion because I think it was foreshadowed throughout the revelation.
What's foreshadowed?
Okay. All right. So we see it there in Genesis 12.
What does it say?
It says,
He's trying to save his mama. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to save his Edomite mother. He can't imagine in his mind that his Edomite mother will be a slave in the future kingdom. He don't care about himself. He cares about his mama.
I just read it. This is what
And what they're doing, guys like this, guys like Vocab Malone, they won't rest until we acknowledge that they were right. And we'll never do that because they're wrong and they don't understand the scriptures.
What is it?
Yeah, to it.
All right. I will bless thee that bless thee, and curse him that curseth
And what? It say, and what?
Curse.
Curse them that what?
Curseth thee.
How do you curse somebody?
Reject them.
Reject them?
You reject
Okay,
them. You
I
curse
can see
them.
that.
You destroy them, put them in slavery, beat the shit out of them, kick them in the ass, put your foot in their ass sideways.
I mean, I know what
How
you're
do you bless somebody?
take care of them. You welcome them.
Okay,
you
so
honor
cursing
them.
would be the opposite of taking care of and welcoming somebody, right?
Okay.
These heathens and Edomites, including your mother, all you could do is hope that your mother line goes back to Jake.
I can get that. I'm
Right?
with
So
you.
now watch this. Read.
Okay.
First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 10.
Read on.
What nation has not a part in her kingdom?
It say what?
What nation had not a part in her kingdom?
It say what nation hath not a part in her kingdom? What group of people have not capitalized off the downfall and the oppression and the enslavement and robbery of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? What group of people can you say have not participated in our oppression?
And not all nations participated in taking us down. But these major nations we're talking about. But the ones that never took us down, they're going into captivity too, because they're going to be under us. They're going to be under us. Not every nation took part in enslaving us. But they still going to be under us. Anyway, let me leave you with, I quoted the scriptures, but let me go to, Ezekiel. As a matter of fact, I'm right here. Ezekiel 37, verse 24. And David, my servant, shall be king over them when? In the kingdom. And they all shall have one shepherd. Well, there's a shepherd number 1, then shepherd number 2, then shepherd number 3. You have the 12, And then you have the 144,000. So you have a rank and file in the kingdom. They shall also walk in my judgments, and that's in the kingdom, because the Most High is going to put the laws in the inward part. Jeremiah 31:31, Hebrews 8 verse 6 on down, and observe my statutes. When are they going to do that? In the kingdom. And they're going to automatically do it because the Most High is going to program them to do it. And our job as priests, you have the Levitical priesthood, but all Israelite men will be priests. Why? To teach the other nations the law, statutes, and commandment. The other nations are not going to be up under the new covenant. They're just going to have to try their best to keep the laws, and if they break a law, we're going to deal with them, execute the judgment pursuant to Psalms 149, and do them perfectly, because the Most High is going to program us to keep the laws perfectly. And they shall dwell in the land and we're gonna the so-called headquarters, the capital of the planet will be Jerusalem, Palestine, if you will, the land of Israel. But the orders are going to be throughout the whole planet. But we're going to be throughout the whole planet. And in space. We're also going to be in space. I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever. That's the kingdom. There's not going to be another nation that's going to come and take us down 2,000 years in the future. And my servant David, the actual physical David, shall be their prince forever. So King David is not going to catch a stroke and drop dead or get ran over by a chariot, a choke on a lamb bone or a chicken bone. King David is not going to develop Alzheimer's disease and multiple sclerosis and cancer. Oh my God, King David got cancer. It's not going to happen. It says 26 verse, moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them, and that covenant of peace with them is the new covenant. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, because the Most High is not going to say, well, I don't like what you're doing, I'm going to take the covenant. No, he's going to program us. You can raise a dog, a pit bull, to be friendly, or you can raise a dog and program a pit bull to be mean. Just like an actual robot. You program a robot to be mean, or you program a robot to help so-called mankind. And they showed you that in the movie. What's that movie? What the hell is that goddamn movie? What the hell? Damn, I can't even pronounce it. It's the place where this guy went when he died in the movie The Gladiator. Not Valhalla. Damn, somebody help me in the comment board. Damn, man. Can't think of the name of the movie, but it was robots that were controlling everything. And at the end of the movie, the robots were, the machines were reprogrammed to help the poor people. Asylum? Damn. Anyway, it was starred this guy, Matt Damon. Somebody put it in the comment board. I can't think of it. It said, moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. That's the new covenant. It shall be, and David is going to be there in the midst of them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them. That's the kingdom. That's in Isaiah, the 60th chapter, and other places in the scriptures. And will set, it says, a little one shall become a 1,000, and a small one a great nation, and will set my sanctuary. It says in Revelation 21 that the Most High shall dwell with men in the midst of them forevermore. That's the kingdom. What Ezekiel, the vision that Ezekiel saw is the coming kingdom, and he saw King David in the kingdom, sitting on the throne. My tabernacle also shall be with them, and I will be their power, and they shall be my people. It's talking about Israel, not your mother, your Edomite mother. She's going to be out in the field. And the heathen shall know, the other nations shall know, that I, the Lord, Yahweh, do sanctify Israel. And don't bring me that replacement theology. Everywhere it says Israel and blessings, it's talking about the body of believers. You can be African, you can be Arab. No vocab. That shit is weak. It said, well, my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. So there's going to be an actual contact between the spiritual realm and the physical realm on the earth. That's why no nation shall come up against us. And it said, and I mentioned earlier, we shall execute judgment upon the heathen, such as they not known. We're going to have the law, the scriptures in one hand and the two-edged sword in the other to execute judgment upon the heathen. And that's what they're afraid of. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.